As you're thinking about your potential key results, they usually fall into three categories. They can be inputs, outputs, and outcomes. So let's look at each of those categories and figure out how they can best serve us. First, inputs. Most simply, these are the things that you can control. Inputs will look like all the actions that you're trying to take to get to your objective. They can be everything from the number of stores that you need to open, or that website you're trying to relaunch, or even just the change of a weight of a certain part that you're trying to manufacture. As an example, Jeff Bezos likes to manage using inputs because inputs are the things that he and his leadership team can control. In the case of Amazon, they don't set targets toward outputs like revenue. What they do is they set them toward the inputs that they can control, like the number of products that they can list on their shelves or how fast they can get a product to your door. And so in pursuit of the most customer-friendly company on the planet, they focus on their inputs because those are the things they can control, and then they believe that the revenue will follow. And so that's inputs. And on the other end, you have outputs. And these are the things that you produce. These are the things that come out of a system. Andy Grove, the father of OKRs, saw outputs as the measuring stick for OKRs, because when you're specific about what you want the outputs to be, they either happen or they don't. An example or two of output key results are a sales target, or a performance benchmark target, or the number of attendees coming to a conference. An inherent quality of an output is that the desired result is embedded in it, so there's no question of what we're trying to go towards. The best outputs don't dictate the actions. They allow your team to be creative about how they get there. And a key principle of key results overall, but really when you define them as outputs, is that they're not subjective. And so you know the progress you're making towards the goal that you set. And for the third type of key results, we have outcomes. And outcomes are describing what's changed. Some examples of outcome key results are a net promoter score, or the number of people that are able to walk after a critical surgery, or the renewal rate of our customers. They tend to be a harder key result to write because they go back to why we've set out to accomplish this objective. In some ways, it's really easy just to pick the number of inputs and outputs you want to accomplish, like sales revenue targets or number of stores that you want to open. But the harder question in maybe those two examples is, how many of those customers return? How happy are they? What outcome was all this work leading towards? What you'll find is that an outcome key result can be hard to measure. They may require a new process within your team, or they actually may require you to look between teams to measure this particular thing that matters. And what you'll end up seeing is that the 3 to 5 key results that you pick is going to be a blend of inputs, outputs, and outcomes. The right key results are the ones that are guiding your team's actions. And so as we wrap this lesson, it's important to remember that these inputs and outputs and outcomes that we pick to describe our key results come together as this little package, right? They describe how we get to the what we set out to do. And when we pick great ones, not only do they tell us about the progress that we're making over a quarter, but they can act as an early warning signal for us and really a tool to help us manage and lead. And so as we wrap this section, we're going to dig into some common mistakes of key results, and then we're going to try to tie it all together.